Hey, how's it going everyone? Today we are going to talk about Palworld because there is some exciting news. The CEO just created some PAL cards that actually look pretty amazing. Then after that, we'll talk about the Palworld hotfix that popped up, and as well as we will be talking about what the community manager over on the Discord for Palworld had to say about PvP. Some of you might already know what that is, but we'll get into it as well because I did make it a sort of like an ending video on one of my glitches. But this one, I want to make it more of a newsworthy video. With all that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into this. Let's begin by talking about the Palworld cards. Now, there has been a lot of controversies as of late with Palworld, and if they're going to create some cards, I'm all for it, but I think a lot of people who are a little bit on the aggressive side might not like this idea. You know, the ones that just hate this game altogether, and if you are one of those fellas, you're probably not going to like this idea. Let's go ahead and take a look on the screen here. This right here is a post made by the CEO which says, "I'm having a lot of fun making and playing card games at work, but I'm going back to work." And as you can see, the CEO actually includes 2 figurines or 2 pals there, and you can see the rest of the cards. What I really like about these cards is the back portion where you see that logo. Then if you take a look at the front here, you get both Japanese and English. Now, when I was a kid and I was collecting a lot of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, yet mainly it was Pokemon, I would have loved it if I saw English and Japanese on the card, because it just, for me, it just seems really awesome to have both of those English and Japanese letters on there. Also, I'm not too sure if the bottom section here, those cards, if they're just collectibles, like, you know, without attacks. But if you take a look at the middle here, there are some other things. Like, you can see the skills. I know I said attacks, but, you know, tomato, tomato. You can see that right there in the middle. There's some different cards. I wonder if this is going to be, you know, 2 different things. You got a collector's version, and then you have these, like, playing cards. I honestly have no clue, but I would assume this is some sort of concept phase, kind of giving you an idea of what they're trying to aim for. So really, I think what they're doing here is a great idea. I think it's a great way to kind of spread some more awareness about Palworld so that they get some more fans. I think it's an absolutely great idea. Now, what do you guys think? What are your exact thoughts on playing cards for Palworld? We're now going to continue on and talk about update patch version 0.1.3.0. You all know about this update, you're all already aware of it, you know what's changed, but there was one thing within this patch that really was painful. There was really no way to connect to multiplayer sometimes. There was always these weird instances where you would come with a black screen and you're frozen in there. They did mention at one point it was going to be fixed. If you take a look on the screen here, here's what it says. This right here was by a community manager named Bucky. This user had this to say regarding the issue of infinite loading when connecting to official servers. Following the recent patch, numerous logins are concurrently underway, leading to congested access. We are sorry for the inconvenience, but please wait a moment before trying to connect to the servers. Single player, co-op, and private servers should be relatively unaffected by this. We apologize for any inconvenience. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. This right here was a post made over on the Palworld Discord. The thing about this patch, on the 25th, it did absolutely squat in terms of fixing that. Yet there is some good news because this user named K, a community manager, had this to say right here. A new update fixing infinite loading problem had been released, but not all the problems had been solved. Please consider as easier to log in. Reporting successful logins will be very useful for us. On top of that, please enjoy your gameplay as usual. We are still investigating other problem, and sorry for inconvenience. Thank you for your patience and happy to have your support. Alrighty, so this is a lot different from Bucky, as you can tell. Bucky actually translates a good portion of the stuff that these Japanese cannot write, and I believe this fella right here actually used a translator, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, heck, I would use one too if I could not communicate with them as well. Anyways, this right here for me is a huge fix because I could not get into any multiplayer game yesterday, and if I did, it would disconnect a little bit afterwards. I'm not too sure if the connections are stronger this time, but last time I was lagging all over the field. What I'll do within this video is actually include a clip from multiplayer after the latest hotfix, and we'll see exactly what's going on. And as you can tell, I'm at the home screen here, or the title menu, and I'm going to go to multiplayer and choose a server. When I do choose a server, I'm stuck in the dark infinite loop right here in this loading screen. I cannot go anywhere, and the only way to fix this is Alt F4, basically closing the app. Then I would have to load the game back up, try to choose another server, and hope that that server works. And sadly, most of the time, it does not work. Like, I cannot get into a single multiplayer game. I'll be real here, it's kind of frustrating to see that happen, yet we do have to kind of think this is a game that's in early access. These things are going to happen, and hopefully it will be resolved in the next patch. What I would like you to do for me is, if you have experienced the same exact issue, let me know down below what's going on, and if it's something quite similar. Alrighty, let's continue on and talk about PvP. A lot of you were wondering about PvP for the future, and if you have not seen one of my previous videos where I left this image right here from Bucky at the end of the video, what it says right here is PvP in Palworld won't be PvP from Rust anyway. There are 10 survival games on Steam monthly that launch with lawless open PvP, and none last more than a week. Palworld has a vision for PvP that will fit into the world without suffering from the same pitfalls that every other survival game except like 2 do. So while I'm happy you're excited for PvP, it's important you understand it was never going to be just PvP toggle on go nuts. Palworld ain't that kind of gamer. Well, alrighty then, it appears that, these developers really want to choose a different route and try something completely different. Something that's not like all the other survival games, or at least in PvP mode, and I think that's a great idea. We have to be real here. The fact is, yeah, a lot of PvP games are pretty similar. And if you copy those exact traits and qualities, you're probably not going to stand out too much. I do want to mention again that Bucky's not a developer, he just translates some things for the Japanese developers so that we could kind of get things across a bit more clear. With that out of the way, I am just excited for this PvP mode, whatever it's going to contain. Possibly we end up in a arena, a stadium of some sort, some sort of coliseum, right? That would be pretty cool. What I would like to see is like a huge stadium that you can go to, and you can buy different items like different Pal Balls, or like items that are exclusive to PvP. Basically different gears, different technology, different things that you can actually earn from PvP and take it to single player. That right there would be amazing. Yet I'm sure these developers have something completely different in mind. And with that being said, what do you think they are going to include in the next PvP update? There is a lot of things to be excited for when it comes down to Palworld. Not to mention playing cards, updates, PvP modes, and all this really exciting stuff that we will eventually see as time goes on. And if you have not done so, check out the roadmap, it's well worth checking out. But yeah, with that being said, I wanted to create a decent video here, not too long, 8 minutes, just to kind of inform you what's going on with Palworld. If you have any questions, comment down below. Or if you have any questions about the previous video about glitching, you can comment here too. Or if you feel like it, you can head over towards the Discord down below, click that link and join up. You can also contact me over on Twitter, so there's various ways to get a hold of me if you need any sort of help in terms of glitching or you have questions. With all that information being said in today's video, hope you all have a great day out there, have a solid one, and again, ask down below if you have any questions. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you all in the next video.